Good morning, everyone. A very good morning. Shall we begin the session? Today's topic is the benefits of OOPs. What are the various benefits that is made available with the help of OOPs? So that is the benefit of OOPs. So OOP offers various benefits, several benefits to both the program designer and the user. So both program designer and the users are using the OOPs concepts that designs that contributes to the solution to many problems associated with the development and the quality of the software products. So whatsoever the data they have, whatsoever the profile they have, so they have a development, they have a quality of the software products. And the new technology promise greater grammar productivity, better quality of work, and lesser maintenance cost. So whatsoever the productivity, whatsoever the data they have a better quality of software, they have a lesser maintenance cost, and the principal advantages are through inheritance we can eliminate the redundant code and extend the use of existing classes. So how they gather, how they use, how they make the inheritance, how they eliminate the redundant code, and how to extend the use of existing classes. And we can also build the programs from the standard working module that communicate with one another rather than having to start writing the code from the scratch. This have a communication. This leads to the saving of the development time and the higher productivity. So whatsoever the data they have, whatsoever the communication part they have, they are used to start the code, write the code from the scratch, from the starting point. So they have high productivity, they have a greater opportunity for the package. And the principle of data hiding helps a programmer to build secure program that can be embedded by code in other parts of the program. So that can be used in another part of the program, that can be used with the major part of the program. That is one of the benefit of the OOPs. And it is also possible to have a multiple instances of an object to coexist to use without any interference. So without any interference, these objects are communicating with each other. And it is also possible to map the objects in the problem domain to those in the program. So whatsoever the data they have, whatsoever the profile they have to map the objects in the problem domain to those in the program. And it is very easy to partition the work in a project based on the object. So whatsoever the object they have, whatsoever the profile they have to gather together the profile they have used that profile domain into the program. And it is also easy to partition the work in a project based on the object. So whatsoever the partitioned objects, whatsoever the data they have to make the partition in the project. And the data-centered designed approach enables us to capture more details of a model in implementable form. Whatsoever the approach we have, whatsoever the data we have to capture the more detailed form in the implementable form. And object-oriented system can easily be upgraded from the small to the large system. So whatsoever the data they have, whatsoever the profile they have been upgraded from the small to the larger system. This is one of the main profile. This is one of the main part, that is, it can be upgraded. It can be used from one system to or small to the large system. And the message passing techniques for communication between the objects makes the interface description with the external system much simpler. So they have to maintain the system, they have to use the system, they have to interface the description with the external system. That makes much simpler. And the software complexity can also be easily managed. So they can be easily be managed, the complexity, the part that can be upgraded from the small to the large system, that have been made with the description, that have been made with the external system, that makes much more simpler. So whatsoever the data they have, whatsoever the profile they have to incorporate all these features in the object-oriented system. Their importance depends on the type of the project and the preference of the programmers. So this is very easy to capture the data. This is very easy to profile the data that will be implemented, that will be used in the preference of the programmer. And there are a number of issues that will be need to be tackled out, that need to be read with such benefit that they have, with such profile that they have. For example, class libraries or object libraries must be available for the reuse. And the technology is still in developing and evolving, and the current products may be superseded quickly. And set controls and the protocols needs to be developed if reuse is not to be compromised. So if it is not to be compromised, they have to be reused, they have to be reprofiled. And developing a system that is easy to make is hard to build. It is also hoped that the object-oriented programming tools would help manage this problem. This will help to manage the problem, that will be able to manage, that will be able to gain such profile with such tool that is very easy or difficult to build. Now the next part is the object-oriented languages. Oriented languages. What are the various object-oriented languages that is available? So they are the right from the not the right of any particular language. Like the structured programming OOPS concept, they can be implemented using the languages such as the C and the Pascal. In the same way, programming becomes clumsy and may generate confusion when the programs grow large, and a language is specifically or specially designed to support the OOPS concept. So this is the language that is designed to support the OOPS concept, make it easier to implement them. And languages should also support several of the OOPS concepts to claim that they are object-oriented. They are highly qualified oriented. And depending upon the features they support, depending upon the qualified or classified into different categories, these programming languages are differ from part to part, from the language to language. And the object-oriented programming language are also defined with the style of programming that supports the encapsulation and the object identity. And whatsoever the major features that is required for the object-oriented programming are data encapsulation, hiding and the access mechanisms, automatic initialization and the clear up of the objects, operator overloading. So these are the few concepts that will be used, that will be available with the clear up of the objects, operator overloading, mechanism, access, automatic initialization, and so on. And languages that support the programming with the objects are said to be the object-based programming languages. They do not support the inheritance and the dynamic binding, but they are typically used with the object-based programming language. This language, this programming incorporates all of its object-oriented features along with two additional features. What are the two features? Inheritance and the dynamic binding. And these are therefore characterized by the following statement. So object-based phase features plus inheritance plus dynamic binding. So there are three parts that includes the inheritance, that includes the dynamic binding, that includes the object-oriented features. And languages that support these features include C++, Smalltalk, Object Pascal, and the Java. And there are large number of the object-based and object-oriented programming languages they are acquired. So this lists some popular general-purpose OOPS languages and their characteristics that are the part of the OOP languages. There are two parts of pure object-oriented languages and the object-based languages. So there are two parts in this. That first includes the concurrency, first includes the inheritance, multiple inheritance, garbage collection, persistence, genericity, and the object libraries. Now this is a figure that says about the characteristics, similar, Smalltalk, Objective-C, C++, Ada, Object Pascal, Turbo Pascal, FL, and the Java. Yeah, these features are the part of the OOPS concept, OOP languages. First is the binding, that may be a both, stimuli both, Smalltalk is late, and the objective is both. C++ again both, Ada is early, Object Pascal late, again early, early both. So then polymorphism, it is available at all the levels. Data hiding also available at all the levels. Concurrency, poor, 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 difficult, no, no, promised, promised, and then again there are the both. Concurrency, again there is the poor, poor, difficult. Inheritance both, but not in the ADA, that is not available inheritance. Multiple, both no, early no, else everything is yes. Garbage collection, no, 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 no. Then persistence, no, both. Late promised, both no, no. Then like 3GL, no. Genericity, again there are the no, 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 no. Again C++, yes, and so on till Java. Then object libraries, again there are the multiple part that will be not so much activated with the Java functionality with the Java boost concepts. First is the pure object-oriented languages, object-based languages, others are the extended conventional languages. These languages provides for the polymorphism and the data binding. However, many of them do not provide facilities for the concurrency, persistence, and the genericity. Then C++ also provides generic facility, which is an important construct for supporting the reuse. However, when we use the persistent, that is the process of storing the objects, is not fully supported by any of them. And in the Smalltalk, through the entire current execution state that can be saved to a disk, yet the initial or the individual object cannot be saved to an external file. And commercially, C++ is only 10 years old. Smalltalk and the Objective are 13 years old, and Java only 5 years old. So, first of all, the Smalltalk and the Objective-C has developed, then C++ and then Java. And use of a particular language that depends on the characteristics and the requirements of an application. These are again the choice of the impact of the choice, reuse of the existing programs that has become the most popular, practical, general